Good afternoon student, here I am Dr. Kshatriya. Today we are going to discuss under the course title that is Extension Methodologies for Transfer of Agriculture Technology, that is extension 353 old. So today's topic is adoption process and innovation decision process. As we learned in previous class about the diffusion process and attribute of innovation. Okay, so here let's start our today's class, that is a adoption process and innovation decision process. So first of all we are going to discuss what is actually adoption and adoption process. So as you know, that is a adoption is a after you decided or have, that is a what is actually innovation is. So it is a full use of that innovation in the course of action. So in the best course of action, that is your adoption. So whatever the innovation you have the knowledge about that particular innovation, it should be used at a practical level. That is a full use of an innovation in the your best course of action is your adoption. In simple, it is a decision to take that particular innovation in practical way. Okay, so that is your about the adoption. Then what is the adoption process? So adoption process is whatever the decision making process by particular individual or the other member of that particular unit, they go through the number of mental decision to adopt particular innovation. So it is not a one single stage is there. There is a number of mental decisions are there. So that is we are going to discuss in the next slide what is actually adoption process is. So adoption process is having the 5 step under this adoption process. What are that? First one is awareness, interest, evaluation, trial and adoption. So these are the 5 steps under this adoption process. So we are going to discuss one by one what is actually awareness is, interest, evaluation, trial and adoption. So I want to take one example here, so it will be the easy to understand you. So there is a in rice for to increase the rice production, there is a one innovation practices is there, that is a system of rice intensification. Okay, so this is the one of the innovation. So here in awareness stage, what the farmer or the rural people or whatever the people those included in this agriculture, they just know about SRI technique in rice production, but did not have the full form of that SRI. So in awareness stage they just know about that is a one method is there or one innovation practice is there, that is a SRI. Okay, so if you use that particular technique, you should get the more production. So they simply they aware about that particular innovation, but they did not have any detailed information or knowledge about that particular innovation. So here just they have the information about that particular innovation practices. So then interest, if they getting the awareness about a particular innovation practice, that is SRI, it is a system of rice identification. So they know about the short form, but here they create the interest. What is actually this SRI? Should they then they want to know about more information regarding this SRI. So there is a full form, how it work actually, what is the things are there. So they getting the more information and they create the interest in that particular innovation. This is about the interest. Evaluation, after knowing the advantage disadvantage of that particular SRI, they getting the evaluate with their traditional practices. Means what is actually difference in between the traditional rice system and this SRI system. Okay, so they compare in between that. If they having the confirm that this particular SRI technique was good, is good, so they going to the next step. What is that? That is a trial. So after getting the more knowledge, after getting the more evaluation in comparison between the old and new practices, they going to the next step, that is a trial. So on the small limited area they should taking that particular system, that is SRI, that is system of price intensification. What is actually this SRI? We are going to discuss in the next slide. Just I am giving this some conceptual information. So after trial, if they have, that is a particular innovation is a more good than the or more advantage than the old one, then they going to be take the decision for the adoption. So adoption is what? To reject or to adopt that particular innovation. Okay, if they have some satisfactory result from that particular innovation, they go with the adoption or adopt that particular innovation or reject that particular. If unsatisfactory result is there, they are with the rejection. So this is about the adoption process, that is awareness, interest, evaluation, trial and adoption. This is from North Central Rural Sociology of Subcommittee in 1955. So here one example is there, that is innovative rice production, that is a system of rice intensification. What is actually? It is one of the innovation approach, okay, to improving the rice production, okay. So in minimum water, means where the water scarcity is there, so in minimum water how you should get the more rice production, that is a thing is here. Again in normal traditional method, there is a 45 days is required to transplanting particular rice plant to field, but here only 8 to 15 days is required. Again there is a depth is there, it is 25 into 25 centimeter square seedling, okay. How much depth it should be, you should transplant that particular rice plant. So it is what some of the differences there. It required the minimum water, then again minimum in minimum age you can transplant a particular plant on the field. So these are the some advantage of this system of price intensification. So it will get the more yield, okay. So that is the thing is here. So that's why they adopting particular thing. So next we are going to discuss about the innovation decision process. So what is this innovation decision process? So innovation decision process, according to Rogers in 1995, the innovation decision process is the process through which an particular individual or other decision making units passes, from which there is a 5 stages again here, from knowledge of innovation, then to forming an attitude towards that innovation, that is a persuasion stage, to a decision to adopt or reject that particular innovation, to implementation of the new idea, and to confirm of this decision. So there is a, how many stages are there? 5 stages. So all are included in this innovation decision process. That is the first is a knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation and confirmation. So particular one individual or that particular decision making unit, they go through all these stages to make that innovation decision process, according to Rogers in 1995. So to make the favorable and unfavorable decision or attitude towards that particular innovation. So here one stages in innovation decision process is here in shows in this diagram. So you go through this diagram, okay. So what is actually innovation decision process is there. So here I already tell you that about knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation and confirmation. So all these 5 stages under this innovation decision process we are going to discuss one by one. But before, I want to say that what are prior condition is required for this innovation decision process. There is a previous practice. Which practice you are going to use before this innovation, then felt needs, what are your felt needs and what are your problems, what are the innovativeness is there, and norms of the social system. So these are the prior condition while using this innovation decision process. So there is required some communication channels also, okay, to getting the knowledge, to make your favorable or unfavorable attitude towards that particular innovation, to take the decision, to implement that particular innovation on your farm, and after that confirmation. So these are the things are here. So we are going to discuss one by one what are the actually this innovation decision process. So here first one is a knowledge. So here what things are there? There is a 3 types of knowledge are there. awareness knowledge, how to knowledge, and principle knowledge. So knowledge is what you are getting the information regarding that particular innovation. Okay, so awareness, you should know about, you should have the some in your mind to getting the knowledge regarding that particular innovation. How to knowledge, after getting the information about that particular innovation, you should have the, things in your mind that how you should get that particular innovation on your farm. Is trial and decision is there. We should try that particular innovation on your farm, and then you take the decision. That is how to knowledge. Okay, then principle knowledge. You want, if there any machinery is there, you want to use that particular machinery on your farm, so you should know about the functioning of that particular machinery. So what are the parts are there, what is the use of that particular part, so you know the principal knowledge of that particular machinery. So that is the thing is there. This is the part of the knowledge. While you are going to take the decision, you require some attribute or some characteristics. Okay, that is called as a decision making characteristics of decision making unit. What kind of the characteristics you required? So socio-economic characteristics, okay, personality variables, communication behavior. You know that is the socio-economic characteristics are there, their age, their business, okay, how much land he required, how their family background, all these things are there. Personality variables, not all the peoples are having the same personality. They are, some are the introvert, some are the extrovert, okay, so like that things are there. So some of the neutral. So according to their personality, they getting the knowledge, and they can express their knowledge to with the others. So if there is a decision making unit is there, means there is a number of people in that particular unit. Suppose 10 to 15 people are there. So 10 to 15 people can't take that particular decision at a one point, because there is different kind of the personality variables are there. Okay, then communication behavior. So how you should communicate with each other, that should be also necessary characteristics in this to regarding this knowledge. So all these things are here. So this is about your knowledge, awareness knowledge, how to knowledge, and principle knowledge. Then persuasion stage. What is this persuasion stage? Here you should make your favorable and unfavorable attitude towards their innovation. Means it is favorable to your condition or not favorable to your condition. You make your attitude towards that particular innovation. So here we already discussed in previous class what are the attribute of innovation. So here also, when you are going to make the favorable and unfavorable attitude towards a particular innovation, that time it required some attribute. So which kind of the attributes are there? Relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability. I will give in a short what is actually this relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability. So here relative advantage means you should compare in between the your previous, means traditional innovation practices which are you already use at your farm, and what is actually innovation practices is there. So if innovation practices give the more satisfied result, you go with that, you make the favorable attitude towards that innovation innovative practices. So that is a thing is there. Compatibility, whatever the things innovation practices is there, it should be compatible with your what with your situation. So there is a, it is suitable or not with your cultural things, okay, or situational conditions. So that the things are there. You should compare, means it is a suitable with your situation or your cultural. You should check that in this compatibility. Complexity means how much difficult to understand that particular practice is. It is easy to handle or not. That should be get the idea in the complexity. After that, trialability. After understanding all the procedure, all the method, all the functioning, and all these things, go for the trial. You should try that particular innovation practices on your farm. After trial, there is a important thing is that observability. Okay, so in observability, you should get the idea about the result of that particular innovation practices. Suppose for example there what seed chemical treatment is there or any rhizobium treatment to the particular soybean seed. So after that, if compare between the two, there is a without rhizobium treatment to the soybean seed and rhizobium treatment with the soybean seed, and after that when you are sowing that particular seed on different plot, you should compare it between that and see the results. What is, if the result is good, that is rhizobium treatment given to the seed, so you go through that, go with the particular rhizobium seed treatment to the soybean seed, okay, and apply over all your farm. So that is the thing is there. There's a seeing is a believing. You should first of all try that, see that, and after that you should believe on that. So here is a favorable and non-favorable attitude towards the particular innovation practices. Then decision. After the persuasion, when you are making that favorable and unfavorable decision, and the result of that particular seeing the result of that particular innovation practices, next step is the decision. Here what the two choice only there is, you should adopt that particular innovation or to reject that particular innovation. So here adoption means what? You are applying that particular innovation on your farm, but you make the full use of that innovation in the course of action, that is your adoption. Rejection, you are not using that particular innovation on your farm, you are not thinking to adopt that particular innovation. So adoption, here you should continue adoption, and discontinuous means if the results are satisfied, you go with that particular innovation practices and you are going to adopt that, that is a continued adoption. Discontinuous means you did not getting the satisfactory result from that particular adoption, so you did not continue that particular adoption, you are going to reject that innovation, okay, that is a continued adoption and discontinuous. Then rejection. So first of all you are going to reject that particular adoption, okay, but after some times you have to adopt that particular innovation. So this is about the decision stage. Then implementation stage. After the decision, the important stage is that implementation stage. So here an individual or the decision making units put that particular innovation into use, okay. So here they have the decision, or they take the decision like that, you should continue that particular innovation, and you are going to use that particular innovation at a practical. So it involves over behavior changes as the new idea is actually part into practice, okay, not only theoretical. So this is about the implementation stage. After the implementation stage, there is a last stage, is a confirmation stage. What is the confirmation stage is there? The confirmation stage is that continuous after the decision to adopt or reject for an indefinite period at time. Are you going to adopt that particular innovation, or are you going to reject that particular innovation for a definite period in time? So that is your confirmation stage, okay. So confirmation stage, these are the things are there. Then discontinuance, as we see in the previous slide, that is under the decision, it is a discontinuous in the adoption. So what is this discontinuous is there? Decision to reject that particular innovation, whatever it is offered to farmer, okay, completely reject. Replacement discontinuous means you should adopt a new innovation rather on replace to the particular traditional method, okay. Disenchantment discontinuance means what? Due to the unsatisfactory result of innovation practices, you totally reject that particular innovation. So these are the some concept: discontinuous, replacement discontinuous, and disenchantment discontinuous. So next is a innovation decision period. So what is this innovation decision period? So the length of time required for an individual or organization to pass through the innovation decision process. Means whatever the time or period is required, okay, required for the particular individual or the particular decision making unit or particular organization from knowledge to what? Confirmation stage. So that time is called as a innovation decision period. Then what is actually rate of adoption? So is the relative speed within which an innovation is adopted by a member of a social system is called as a rate of adoption. Then what is the over adoption? Sometimes what happen as a result is satisfactory of particular innovation, so farmer are going to adopt that particular seed or particular method continuously, vigorously. So don't do like that. Why? Sometimes it may be happen people continue to adopt an innovation rather vigorously when expert feel that should not be so done. Okay, that is excessive use of pesticide, fungicide, whatever it may be. So don't use a particular innovation at excessive. Okay, so that is the thing is here, that is over adoption. Then next is a last point in our today's class, that is the S-shaped curve. So what is this S-shaped curve? It is also called as a diffusion curve. So here some categories are there, adapter category. We are going to discuss in the next class about the adapter category. So here there is early adapter and later adapter, and in between the diffusion is there. So what is this the diffusion? Diffusion means whatever the innovation or whatever the new things is there is adopted by the member of a social system through the certain channels within their particular social system. That is a diffusion. Okay, means in a new idea is adopted by the member of a social system through the different communication channel or through the different communication channel, that is your diffusion. So here some peoples are adopt particular innovation at a instantly, means they are adopting instantly, but some are the later adopter. They can't adopt a particular thing at a instant level, so they take some time to adopt that particular innovation. So there is some categorization is there. So we are going to discuss in the next slide. This is the S-shaped curve. Okay, from early adopter to later adopter, means their process is a very lengthy process is there according to time and the percentage. How much percentage people are going to adopt at first time and how much are the last time. So this is about the S-shaped curve according to Rogers in 1995. And in today's class we actually learn about the adoption process, okay, and the innovation decision process. So if you have any doubt, you can ask on the Google Classroom, and you should go through this video lecture, and I will also upload the PDF file. Okay, thank you.